BBC Weather is facing a major shake-up, with veteran presenters Thomas Schäfernacher and Louise Lear reportedly considering leaving the corporation following plans for sweeping cuts to the national weather team. Darren Bett is also understood to be considering voluntary redundancy, although none of the three presenters has yet accepted the offer. The changes form part of the BBC's wider push towards digital content and a greater reliance on local weather presenters. Bosses reportedly plan to reduce the number of national weather presenter roles from 11 to just 4.5, in a move that could mark the end of an era for some of the corporation's best-known forecasters. The BBC has said it wants to make more of its popular local weather presenters, with national presenters expected to have a reduced role across television. One source described the changes as the beginning of a significant transformation for BBC Weather. "It's the end of an era for our weather presenting," the source said, while arguing that audiences still want both digital updates and the traditional television forecast. A weather presenter also told The Times that the existing team is already operating with limited resources and should not be treated in the same way as other areas affected by the BBC's wider cost-cutting program. The source said the team had been producing a huge amount of content across television, radio and digital platforms around the clock. Schäfernacher has worked for the BBC since 2000 and has become one of the corporation's most recognizable weather presenters. Lear has presented weather forecasts on BBC television and radio for almost 3 decades, while Bett was part of the original BBC News 24 launch team in 1997. Under the new plans, local presenters will play a greater role in television forecasts at lunchtime and at weekends. National weather presenters will continue to provide forecasts for programs including Today, BBC Breakfast and weekday editions of News at 6. News at 10 will also feature national forecasts for a trial period. However, the BBC News Channel's half-hourly weather updates are being scrapped, with automated graphics taking their place. Radio forecasts will also be read by program presenters and announcers. Jonathan Munro, interim CEO of BBC News, defended the changes, pointing to the importance of accurate weather information following a summer of extreme heat. The shake-up comes as the BBC attempts to reduce costs by £500 million over 2 years, with as many as 2,000 jobs expected to be lost. The corporation has already announced a series of cuts affecting familiar programs and schedules, including the axing of The World Tonight on Radio 4 and changes to BBC Breakfast. Production teams behind Sunday with Laura Kunzberg and Newsnight are also set to merge, while weekend television production will increasingly be shared between the BBC News Channel and BBC One bulletins. The BBC has said the changes reflect the way audiences are increasingly consuming news and information online. For viewers who have grown accustomed to seeing familiar faces deliver the forecast, however, the changes could mean a very different BBC weather in the years ahead.